Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast named Tim, a father and son movie review podcast. Available everywhere podcasts are. Please leave a rating and review for us on your podcast app of choice and check us out on YouTube. Again, that's podcast named Tim. On all the social medias, we have a website, podcastnamedtim.com. Check out all the movies we've ever watched. This week we are doing The Island and Serial Mom. We are doing movies that are featured or on the Peacock streaming platform. Next week, just a little heads up, we're going to be doing Paramount Plus, so we'll get to that at the end of the episode, but we're going to do this episode, The Island and Serial Mom. I'm Zach. Dad, how are you today, good sir?
Fantastic.
Well, I'm excited about this week because been doing a lot of, as you like to say, what you hate me saying is been doing a lot of noodling about these movies, and
It's a dumb saying.
I like noodling.
Although I did tell Samantha to use her noodle the other day, so I guess I'm being a hypocrite.
That's right. Well, what else did you watch outside of this? Not much. I nibbled a lot this week.
Probably. We finished Dr. Death.
Okay.
That's crazy that kind of mess happened. That was scary. This guy performed 38 surgeries and looked up 33 of them. So he got lucky with 5. I mean, this guy, luckily he's in jail. He's not even, the real guy's not even eligible for parole until 2045. So it was, that was a little creepy. I mean, I've always said I would probably never do back surgery. I know that's a very, the people that I've known that have had back surgery, every one of them have then had multiple backs. It's like, we got to go back in. We got to do this. Yeah. That's all right. We started back on the Outer Banks season 2 last night.
Okay.
Well, I don't know because we both thought the first one was pretty lame.
Yeah.
It was just like, let's go ahead. We watched this. Let's see. And it wasn't just that it was kind of, it was a bit of a young show for us. I mean, it was kind of teeny bopperish.
Right.
It's the acting. The acting and the writing is pretty damn bad. The plot holes in it you could drive a truck through. But we'll see. Geez, there was something. What did I watch? There was something I watched that was really entertaining. And now I won't be able to come up with it because it was entertaining. Well, I've been watching Dallas. The greatest show ever.
You've mentioned.
The greatest drama ever. Because I don't want to say it because then I'll leave out comedies. You know what? I'm just going to say that's it because I don't really, I can't really think of anything.
Okay. Well, I nibbled at a lot of stuff today. I had not a lot of this week. I couldn't focus on a lot of things. So I nibbled at The Creature Walks Among Us, which was one of the sequels to The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Didn't get that far into that.
I mean, the original one I love. It's so campy and stuff. Yeah. I love the music in Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah.
Nibbled at Rivals of the Silver Fox, which was a kung fu movie. Didn't make it very far into that. Watched probably the most preseason football I've ever watched. I wasn't watching whole games, but I watched maybe a quarter of like 4 or 5 different games. But for preseason,
to know that we're going to be 8-8.
That's maybe
Am I being optimistic?
Maybe watched Hard Knocks. Speaking of that, which debuted, love Hard Knocks. I think it's a great show. Me and the wife watch it. Of course, we're doing the Dallas Cowboys this year. I have a unfortunate stat that I heard the other day.
Oh boy.
So Hard Knocks has been on for 16 seasons.
Ooh.
Teams that have been featured on Hard Knocks, a total of 3 of them have won a playoff game that year. So
it's like being on the cover of Madden.
Yeah, not good.
Not really a good thing to do. Yeah.
Not good. So,
why haven't people realized these things? Why do they say, like the reality show, the married couples and
yeah,
stuff don't do now? Kristen Bell and Dak Shepard are doing one. You get divorced.
yeah,
All right.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I watched, and this is going to be for you, I guess a heads up. I watched the full Green with Evil arc, 5-part episode arc from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I will be recording one episode about that 5-episode arc. So that's coming down the
Oh boy,
pipeline for YouTube.
that sounds difficult.
Yes, I'm gonna try and condense it as much as possible.
I should be ready since I've been lazy the last 2 weeks.
That's fine. I have a Beast Morphers and the Dino Fury to record too. I've watched 2 of those episodes as well. Finished the Star Wars book for the High Republic. It was pretty good. Started a new one from Legends. And finished the season 1 of the Bad Batch. It's weird because in some respects it's the best first season of a Star Wars show.
I think it was aptly named.
Yeah, but it's also the worst. Well, it's not as bad as Resistance. It's the third worst of the animated shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got some good and bad, but I don't know. I don't see it being able to reach the heights of the other animated series. But who knows? They've already been picked up for season 2. So
cool.
Well, that's all I got, homie.
I guess I'm going to start watching some AEW.
Yep, Nature Boy is probably coming, and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. And
I want to know if they're going to do a story with Arn and Rick. Are we going to have opposing? Are we going to have together? I mean, because they got some shit to iron out before they're going to work together.
Well,
said some pretty things. You didn't say it meanly. You just said it very matter of factly. You didn't ask about me. You didn't really pay attention to when my son died. You didn't take care. So then I guess we ain't friends no more.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could just say, look, I'm too old for negativity. I had to get out of that. So
yeah,
I think they can get back to never to where they were, but I think Flair seems to be pretty forgiving about things when people talk. I mean, look, he calls Bischoff one of his best friends now.
Yeah.
Who would have known? Bischoff seems to kiss his ass all the time.
Yeah.
I think Hogan has a lot to do with that, though. It's kind of that intermediate. If Hogan dropped out on one of them, then the other one would go.
Yeah.
I think he's the glue that holds them together. I don't know. I want to see how they're going to put him in there. If people, I think as friendly as he is with Tony Khan, they have a good relationship. I think he'd let him wrestle again. Not full time.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about a match or a part of a match to, maybe be the enforcer and he could get in and mix it up a little bit.
They, I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks is their big SummerSlam kind of show.
Well, Punk's coming, right?
And it's in Chicago. Yeah. And so I will probably watch that, and that will be my barometer if I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, I like the promo. You can see Chicago's in the foreground, the background, sorry, and you see CM Punk in his back of him, and he's saying he's back, back home.
Did you see John Cena's or hear about John Cena's promo the other day?
No.
He was shooting on Roman the other day.
Right.
They were doing the work shoot angle, and he talked about you almost ruined Seth Rollins. You ran Dean Ambrose out of WWE, and apparently he also, because I guess they're going to wrestle at SummerSlam, and John Cena in this promo said, "Maybe I will take the belt, hop the barricade, and blow you a kiss," which of course is reference to when CM Punk beat John Cena, hopped the barricade, and blew him a kiss as he was leaving because his contract with the storyline. His contract was up and he was leaving with the belt. And so he threw a lot of AEW recognition into his promo.
I just don't see Cena ever go anywhere else. But I said that about Sting. But now, Sting didn't go anywhere else when there was no other place to go.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think he would have. I don't know.
I think they just wanted some cheap. They wanted some cheaper, attention.
Oh yeah, I really don't think Cena would go anywhere.
Yeah.
So
it was fun.
Where's I wonder. I'm trying to figure out where to watch Dynamite from. I don't do anything with cable anymore. I do everything streaming. I have cable. I start watching. I probably should cancel that $1,000 bill for no reason.
Their next pay-per-view is All Out, and it is September 5th.
Now, are their pay-per-views are like the old pay-per-views used to be? It's not you buy it and it comes up on the.
Oh, you can get it through, I think, Fight TV or actual traditional pay-per-view.
I don't have Fight TV anymore. I used to.
I think that's where they do theirs through. Or you know what? They might do it through BR Live.
BR Live. What's that?
Bleacher Report.
Oh.
I think they might do it through there.
That figures it out.
Yes. So.
All right. This isn't a wrestling podcast.
No, this is not. We just went on a little tangent, but that's okay.
Woo!
Well, let's go ahead and start with The Island from 1980, not the Ewan McGregor and
Did you see his Instagram post, though? His Twitter post?
No.
He said diamonds are forever, but he said it in Spanish.
I did see that.
All right, I'm moving on. Sorry.
Okay. We're going to start with The Island. Before we get to that, we'll take a quick moment to pause and hear a word from our sponsor. The Island came out in 1980, has an R rating, 1 hour and 49-minute runtime.
Was it 1980, really?
It came out in 1980. It feels like a 70s movie, which we'll get into.
Ewan McGregor looked really old.
Yeah. Has 5.3 on IMDb. And on the Rotten Tomatoes score, it is a 40 on the tomato meter and a 51 from the audience. It is about a journalist and his son who go to investigate some missing peoples and missing boats in the Bermuda Triangle area, and they get stranded on a mysterious island that has pirates that have been living there for hundreds of years and inbreeding, and things don't go well. Again, stars Michael Caine and David Warner. And this is your selection, so I guess I'll go first. I like the idea of this movie.
It was an idea.
There was an idea. I like the idea. I think, inbred pirate island. Okay, you can make that work. I like the movie poster. I thought there was an amazing scene as far as a one-liner from Michael Caine when he said, I'll get to that in a minute. Michael Caine. And Sir Michael Caine. I think that there were a lot of things that hurt this movie, which I believe won some Razzies, or was at least nominated.
Was it the first ever? Didn't they win the first?
That's close to. Worst actor and worst director nominees. It wasn't good, but I'll let you go ahead and we'll go back and forth.
Well, yeah, it was not what I remembered at all. I remembered a couple of the scenes, but they were not anywhere like the flare gun scene. I remember that being really cool and crazy, and that was so boring. Yeah, I don't understand exactly why they started calling them pirates, and even the girl said like pirates, like dressed like pirates. No, they weren't. Nobody had on bloomers and knickers and striped shirts and bandanas and pirate hats and hooks and parrots. How do we know? Why do we call them pirates? They were just kind of nasty, dirty people. I don't know. I didn't get the whole setup. I wasn't quite sure the dynamics, how they worked, who was in charge and why they were in charge, and why people were. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't scary at all.
It wasn't scary, but this movie deserves a remake. Because you could make this scary. You could do like a Green Inferno kind of, you're trapped on this island and you don't know this culture, and
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of already been remade,
yeah,
just
it's been done.
not with. Only if they'll find a cameo as the head pirate as Michael Caine.
Who would never do it in a million years.
No, because he says he won't even discuss this movie.
Yes, which is whew.
Which is scary, because I did hear him discuss Jaws 4 before, and if he'll discuss that before this, that's pretty bad. Look, you can't not discuss a movie you made. You knew it was bad. He is a professional. He knew when he read this script.
He knew what was up. It's the same issue I have with Christian Bale, who refuses to talk about Newsies.
Yeah, but that's a good movie.
It is a great movie. So there's a great scene where him and the guy who set him up are on the island, and the guy says, "You and I are the only living men to see what lies before you now." And Michael Caine replies with, "A bunch of assholes playing Long John fucking Silver." I died laughing at that moment. That was great.
I didn't get the whole pier, the boat, the people on the boat that were kidnapping and not kidnapping. I didn't understand any of that.
Here's what I didn't understand. So they were here for 300 years, right?
Yeah.
And they're pirates. They like boats.
Arrgh.
How come in this 300 years, where they have obviously very successfully commandeered many boats, why did they never just try and leave the island and sail somewhere else?
That was their home.
Right, but you didn't try and send scouts or expeditions or.
They were lazy pirates.
They were lazy pirates. I didn't understand.
Yeah, they didn't. They had done all that. Yeah, I don't know. There was none of it made sense on me.
Here was my biggest issue. Peacock. No, Peacock, as a streaming service, I noticed when I watched several different movies, there was a lack of closed captions as an option for a lot of movies. And I watch most movies with closed captions. And this movie 1000% needed it, because I didn't know what the fuck any of these pirates were saying any of the time when they were doing the little pirate gibberish.
Right.
So I was kind of like, I really need some closed captions here so I can figure out what the fuck's going on. And
I don't think it would have helped, but more proud to you.
Just saying. It was interesting. They had this weird society. I liked their little mock trial they had. And they had this weird, I don't know. It was just, would you agree with me that this was a 70s movie? Through and through.
Yeah, if it came out in the 80s, it probably was made.
But I mean, it just had that dirty people and weirdness and
bad looking lighting and just.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago when we reviewed The Arena from the 70s. I was 1000% shocked there was not a rape scene in this movie.
Maybe they got cut.
I was surprised.
He got cutting out some wrestling stuff. Maybe they've been splicing up.
I was waiting. I was like, all right, dirty 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
Huh. It's making me afraid, because there was the other movie that came on at the same time as this on Star Channel that just ran they used to run you could watch the same movie 4 times in a day, because they just didn't have very much. The other one was called Mountain Men. And I think it was Brian Keith. It's not Richard Chamberlain. I can't remember who the other guy was, but we loved it, and because it had some decapitation scenes and some crazy Indian attack scenes and some good blood.
Yep.
So I'm almost afraid to watch it, because I'm afraid it's going to be the same thing as, this is not what I remember.
So did you see this in theaters?
No.
Okay.
No. I was only 12.
Were you? I thought you were older at that point.
No, I was born in 68. So
okay.
I was 12 years old, and that would have been a year. No, I did not see this theaters. I told you I saw it on Star Channel.
Okay.
I watched all the stuff we weren't supposed to see in theaters.
Okay, so that's what. Yeah. So you did get away with seeing it at a young.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Scott's mom and dad didn't give a shit what we watched.
Okay. Yeah, I was surprised that this movie also, again, for being a 70s movie, I was surprised we didn't get into the cannibalism potential more than
I don't think pirates ate each other, did they?
Well, I mean, yeah, but they're inbred,
They ate squab. No.
You know who would make a good The Island remake? Because he likes to remake 70s horror films anyway.
Wouldn't it?
Give it to Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie. No, I don't like his movies.
It would be better than this.
I am going to try his Monsters out, though.
You are, okay.
Yeah. Because that Sid Haig guy's dead, so
Mm-hmm.
you can't stick that guy in there and annoy me.
Sid Haig would have made a great pirate from The Island.
He would, but I don't know. Let's give it to Jordan Peele. Oh, M. Night. I wonder what he would have done with this. I think M. Night could have done this. He could have put everybody on a beach, and they started aging. Pirating.
I think the idea is there. Just every other form of execution of this film is bad.
Well, did I hear that? Did I read that it was this was actually a novel that sold pretty good, that was actually kind of liked?
I think so. I think they paid like a couple $1 million to get the rights to this.
Well, that must have been all the money, because they didn't spend it on screenwriting or.
What did you think?
It was so confusing. I just couldn't figure it out.
What was also of the time, I guess might be the best way to describe it, was the portrayal of the kid with the gun, like the whole gun situation with him, and like going to the shooting range, and it was fun and cool. I don't know. I mean, Michael Caine, was like, this is stupid, kind of.
It
but
still takes place everywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line.
I know, but it was just like, okay.
What we gonna do today, Paul?
Well, in fact, no. Well, it was funny in front of it. In front of the gun dealer, he's like, "Well, I can't sell you this gun, but I can sell it to your dad."
Right.
So if your dad wants to buy this gun, I can.
I sure would like to shoot some, Papa.
You ever been to a shooting range? I don't know. I went once.
I did that tin can shoot thing at the Chuck E. Cheese. Does that count?
No. I went to a shooting range once with some friends.
I'm not saying I wouldn't go, but I wouldn't go.
I just didn't get the appeal of it.
I would take Amy.
It was okay.
She wanted to go because she's a killer.
Yeah, I'd rather go like axe throwing.
Axe throwing seems much more brutal, and I would like it better.
Yeah.
Guns are kind of cheating.
What did you?
You'll kill somebody. Use these.
A lot of this movie was just the movie Hook.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask where you got that from.
So, Dad, who is out of touch and works a lot.
Okay. His
son gets kidnapped by pirates, who then try to convince him he's a pirate.
Sold.
And then the dad has to convince him that he's still his son. I was like, is this Hook? I was like, what is going on here?
I guess that's what we tie all pirate movies into, because that's the same as Treasure Island.
Yeah.
You got the kid. What's the kid's name? He friends Long John Silver because he doesn't really have a parent figure, and blah blah blah.
That's just
what's the kid's name?
Davy Jones.
No, that's the guy with the lockup.
I know.
I can almost hear Long John saying his name, while I was reading it, but because that's the Red Treasure Island, believe it or not. Robert Louis Stevenson, right?
Doesn't matter.
But it's kind of like that. So I guess that's just
that's just the pirate. That's what you do for the pirate movies.
The pirate life for me.
It is. I'd take some rum right now. That'd be good.
Take some booty. Although I hear it means something different in their language. Oh, hey.
Yeah, when are we gonna do a Rodney Dangerfield movie?
We're gonna do a Jackie Mason memorial. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, we
you that. You need a finger? You want the finger?
It was. So you don't agree with me? No remake.
You gave a pretty good sell to it. I'm not going to clamor for it if I even know how to clamor. But if I can learn how to clamor,
can you pine for it?
I don't think I could pine for it either. I could see who did it and decide whether or not I think they could have done a good job with it, and then maybe possibly watch it.
Okay.
Especially with things coming out on television. Well, I'll have to go pay $80 to go to a movie.
Maybe they'll make it into a miniseries on Netflix.
Now, maybe with more time to build some characters and build some story besides this silly story, the idea of some people that were lost, because that's been done, but I don't know about. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Give it to Jordan Peele and.
I thought we had a rule about stop giving him all the movies.
Until he makes a really bad one, I'm not going to.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and hop to our next film, because I think we have dug into this movie as much as we could.
There's no deep dive to be had in this movie.
Yes. There wasn't much there.
Oh, and I didn't really understand this either. Which I don't know how big the Bermuda Triangle is, but they said they were off the coast of Florida. Bermuda is straight out from North Carolina-Virginia border. If you go to the Virginia, where it comes out a little bit, if you go due east, that's pretty much where Bermuda is.
I think the Bermuda Triangle is like Florida and Cuba area, right?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I just
maybe it's like
assumed it was kind of around Bermuda.
Maybe it's Bermuda, Cuba, Florida.
Right.
Kind of.
Because when we went to Bermuda and I was buying our tickets, I really thought I didn't really know where Bermuda was, to be honest.
Yeah, it's weird to think that it's like.
And then I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute, that's like straight out. That's not going anyplace cool. But it was beautiful. I love Bermuda. I would live in Bermuda.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. So.
Next film. Yes. It is Serial Mom, which was my selection for the week. I told you I picked it because a good friend of mine, it's one of his favorite movies.
Yes, I need to know the story behind that. It's been bugging me all week.
He's from Baltimore, so I think that's part of it.
Well, I'm go ahead and introduce it, and I'll ask you.
So, 1994, R rating, 1 hour and 35-minute runtime. Has a 6.8 on IMDb, and on the Rotten Tomato meter has a 64 and a 72 from the audience, so a little higher there. It is about kind of a perfect all-American housewife who has a dark side to her. It is directed and written by John Waters, and of course stars Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Turner.
Excuse me, Kathleen. Woo! Kathleen Turner, Sam Waterston, Ricky Lake, and Matthew Lillard. It's quite the cast. I enjoyed it. We'll get into it more. What did you want to ask?
Well, the way, and I don't have the text in front of me, but when you were talking about it, and you said something about. It almost sounded like that these people get together and have a serial mom watch party.
No, okay, so I am seeing him for a separate party. I believe he does have an annual viewing of Serial Mom with some of his friends.
That's what I was wondering.
I think he does.
Okay.
But this is a separate thing I'm going
Interesting.
to. Yes. He is from Baltimore, so that's part of it. But it is, and he has this is his type of humor. So, I think that this movie, in contrast with The Island, is a perfect illustration of why Hollywood is the way it is now. Because you had two movies that are weird concept, like, hey, here's a movie about inbred pirates on an island and we're going to get trapped there. Here's a movie about a murderous housewife. They're both weird concepts. One worked because it takes a lot of tweaking and just the right vision, and either one of these movies could have easily failed, and either one of these movies could have been good, just with the right person behind.
Right.
And Hollywood wants to play it safe because why get one good movie and one shitty movie when I can get two mediocre movies? Is their opinion at this point? I really, really enjoyed this. I thought the humor and the darker sides of it just everything was spot on. I don't think this movie misstepped once. And it could have easily done so, but I think it got the tone and the acting. Kathleen Turner was fantastic in this. Sam Waterston was fantastic in this. I thought it was great. What did you think?
I loved it.
Okay.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I laughed the whole time. It reminded me of another movie. I don't know why I missed this. I just totally avoided this like the plague.
So wait, you had never seen this?
No.
Okay.
I knew what it was. Knew who was in it. Just didn't. It never appealed to me to want to watch it. I wish I had because it's hilarious. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that really bad. Well, I think it's funny that Ellen DeGeneres Bill Pullman movie, and I can't remember what it is.
Sure.
I know that sounds weird, but it's kind of like that. It's a dark humor. She seems to be a normal date, and then she ends up not being who you think she is.
Right.
Oh, what is that? Oh, Mr. Right. Mr. Wrong. Mr. Wrong.
Okay.
Mr. Wrong? I think that's what it is. We had a quote. So Scott and I went and saw that in theaters for some reason, and there was actually a quote that I use, and you hear me use it all the time, and you may not have known that's where I got it from. Stolen beer tastes better. So I use that all the time. Stolen this tastes better. So it's because they steal the beer, and she explains because stolen beer tastes better. It's just that simple. Now I'm trying to remember. I think he's the crazy one, not her. I gotta rewatch it, but it's on the same kind of genre.
Yeah.
I thought this was good. I liked Ricky Lake in it. Sam Waterston was kind of weird.
I liked his over the
very
top.
Strange.
Yeah, I liked his over the top. Like, what do you mean my wife's crazy? Like,
right.
just, I don't know.
Matthew Lillard in his debut film didn't do too bad for his first movie role. Just the whole thing falling apart, and her never really. I don't know. She never really got it. Really understood.
Well, I don't think she was supposed to. She was crazy. I mean,
it was good.
I thought this was this easy. Do you agree with me though? This movie could have easily been really bad.
Sure. Yeah, I'm glad Kathleen Turner did it because she let that. She can seem very sophisticated.
Yeah.
But if you've seen her in some other roles, she can get down and roll with the dirt if she needs to. But it was. I'm glad she's the one that did this. I can't remember who it was they said they offered it to. Oh, Julie Andrews. There's where it would have went off the rail. That Julie Andrews could not have pulled this off.
No.
Because Julie Andrews, you can't think of, even if she had done it, I don't think you ever could have thought that it fit. But Kathleen Turner's got that, like I said, got that edge that she can kind of play both sides.
Do you have a favorite death?
Oh, favorite death. Wow. I'm trying to remember some of them now.
So we had getting run over by a car.
It's always funny.
Yeah.
Especially when she backed up and got him again.
Yeah, when she did the poker in the bathroom.
Wait.
I thought that scene was going to go somewhere else. Because if you remember correctly, there was a hole cut out in one of the stalls, and there was a pervert next
Oh,
to
yeah. I thought it was.
And I thought I had a feeling where that scene was going to go, but didn't go there. There, of course, was the beating her over the head with the mutton chop, with the ham chop, whatever.
That I liked because it reminded me of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock Presents. There's an Alfred Hitchcock Presents with Barbara Bel Geddes, Miss Ellie from Dallas, and she's this meek, mild little woman, and her husband was not a very nice person, and he ended up dead.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't find a murder weapon. she beat him with a frozen leg of lamb, then cooked it and served it to the police while they were investigating. So it was like perfect. So I had a little flashback of that episode. So that's a good one.
Okay. It's different.
What? Geez, was there a different one?
Did you? I think the last one was she used the telephone cord, right? At the courthouse. I think the lamb is probably.
There's one thing that makes me sad about this movie.
What is it?
Not the casting of Matthew Lillard. He did good, but who it could have been. Who it was supposed to be.
Who?
It was supposed to be Will Wheaton.
Well, I do like Will Wheaton.
I'm a Will Wheaton mark.
I like Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton is hilarious. I would have liked to see him do it, but I can't pull Matthew Lillard out of it.
No, he
did such a good job.
I had forgotten that Ricky Lake was actually an actress.
Yeah, she did some things, but I think she dolled John Waters films, right?
Yeah,
Hairspray
yeah. I just remember her from the Ricky Lake show. That's that's the only thing I really knew.
Which was horrendous.
Wasn't great. Wasn't.
Her topics were pretty. Her topics started out kind of decent, but then they went the Jerry Springer way quick.
Get ratings, baby.
There's a whole. Oh my God, you don't remember that era?
Well, there was another one that I'm trying to remember of. I don't remember the name of the show.
Jenny Jones.
Was it who?
Jenny Jones?
I think so. She had Rue Jude on her show.
Rue Jude. I don't know who that is. Sally Jesse Raphael?
No, there was a guy named Rue Jude who I think was on. Yeah, he was on the Jenny Jones show. This is sad that I know this. So I think he was a radio personality, if I remember correctly. And I think they would bring him on. Yeah, here we go. He would come on to the show and just insult people. He would roast people, basically.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah. Me and my buddy, me and John watch the Jenny Jones show sometimes because we wanted to watch Rue Jude just tear into people.
Well, I may have to see if there's some clips of that because I'm sure as soon as I see it, I'll remember because I did actually watch Jenny Jones.
Yeah.
But at that time, dude, there was Jenny Jones, Ricky Lake, Montel Williams.
Yep.
Phil Donahue was still going. Jerry Springer.
Yep.
Sally Jesse Raphael. It was like just Oprah was starting. Oh my God! Everyone had a talk show. Joan Rivers had it. Too many.
You know, it was actually a good talk show. A middle of the day good talk show. Rosie O'Donnell's talk show was good.
Rosie O'Donnell was fine. She annoys me. She annoyed me because she always had to break into song. Stop singing. And stop saying you love Tom Cruise.
Doesn't everyone love Tom Cruise?
No.
Well, yeah, Katie Holmes doesn't love Tom Cruise, but...
And none of his exes love him.
Huh, I wonder why.
I think the Sea Org can answer that.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this movie. It was just...
It just flowed. It just flowed from one thing to the other, and it was like almost like a Scooby-Doo thing, and we ran this way, and then this ran this way. And
are you saying it's Scooby-Doo because Matthew Lillard was in it?
Maybe that popped in my head, but no, it just seemed like that. We had the little group that runs here, then a little group runs here.
Well, I just like the fact that I guess it's one of those ones where you really just have to watch Kathleen Turner's face.
Yeah.
This movie, because it just... Her acting in this was great.
Oh, she's great.
I do have one little bit of trivia. The video store where this was filmed at was John Waters' actual local video store.
Which makes sense. I mean, he's like Barry Levinson. If it's in Baltimore, he's going to film it. Yeah. He's going to show
it. If we had to, not that we would ever do it, but if we had to remake this movie, well, obviously video stores don't exist anymore.
Sequel or remake?
It'd be a reboot.
Okay. I can see Ricky Lake snapping.
I don't know where they would. It's weird because so many great movies have taken place at like video stores. As like it's a good spot for a movie to take place, to have characters there to talk about movies in a movie, and that's not a thing anymore. Video stores don't exist. So where
wasn't that scene with Kennedy and Matthew Lillard in Scream, and that's in a video store, isn't it?
That was the other thing I was going to say. This also reminded me of Scream because he was such a movie buff in that movie too, and he was a horror movie buff. So I was like, okay, so maybe he was typecast.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'd have to find a new.
Well, I'm saying you got that. You've got like Clerks.
Well, Clerks is a convenience store.
That's right. It is a convenience store. But you know what? I was thinking of True Romance, but that's a record store, isn't it?
Yes, comics. No, comic book.
Comic book store. Okay, but just all these
comic or movie.
I thought it was a record store.
I don't know. I'm gonna check that out. Amy was talking about. I was watching that with Alex a couple days.
It's just a great and it was a comic book store this one, but you had in Unbreakable just all those little tiny mom and pop stores, whether it's comics or records or TV. There's just great places to do filming, and I don't know if they're used anymore as much.
They probably would not let this movie be made now.
Where do people go now? Like where do people hang out? Coffee shops?
Coffee shops, yeah. I mean, up in New York and Jersey, they still hang out at the deli. Go to the deli, get you a slice, get you a Reuben. I don't know. I mean, there was one of those things you see on Facebook where it's got the pictures that says one's got to go.
Yeah.
And I forgot the choices, but one of them was Blockbuster, and I picked Blockbuster.
Yeah, I think it was like
over the coal. Oh, Toys R Us.
Yeah, which one do you want to bring back?
Yeah.
It's like Toys R Us, Radio Shack, Borders, maybe something like that.
It was one of those music stores, so yeah. So I put Toys R Us because I love Toys R Us.
I love Toys R Us.
Blockbuster, because I managed a Blockbuster for 3 years, so but that's beside the point. This guy raked me over the coals. I was like, dude, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're thinking that's fun. I don't think wasting 2 hours of my Friday evening arguing with my date as to what movie we're going to have, and then it was fun. You go and you stream it. I ain't got to return it. I don't have to rewind it. If it's dumb, I can turn it off and make another choice.
Well, functionally, you could make a Toys R Us work today. Because kids got to buy toys. You got to go somewhere to buy.
Well, you got to lower the prices.
Yeah, but you couldn't make a home video rental store work.
There's no reason for it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And Radio Shack there never was. Buy your batteries at the grocery store.
Radio Shack sucks.
Radio Shack did suck. Nothing they had in there you could buy somewhere else. And the brands were weird, and the people in it were really creepy. They were creepy. Hope nobody watches.
Didn't Shaun from Shaun of the Dead work at like kind of a Radio Shack kind of store?
It was an appliance store, wasn't it?
Isn't that what a Radio Shack is?
Speakers and no, they don't have. I don't know. Maybe like a sound.
I think they had appliances.
Maybe like a sound shop or what? What Radio Shack were you in?
I thought they had like low-level appliances.
Now, do you remember when those merged?
Who?
Blockbuster and Radio Shack.
No, I don't remember that.
We had a small Radio Shack inside of our Blockbuster for a while. It was two companies decided that somehow we're
going to go down together.
Well, I guess they thought we could fit in there. It never made sense. I don't think any of them lasted much longer. But yeah, they made you. We never had it built up here. We had it roped off in our minds where it was going to eventually go.
Yeah.
And we did get a few rows of Radio Shack stuff, but we never actually had it was going to be a little like a kiosk, basically, surrounded with batteries and wires and remotes and stuff like that in every Blockbuster. I think they got one in Hampton. I think that Mercury one that you would have went to had a little.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember
that. It was a very strange thing.
Yeah, that sounds weird. Okay. Well, we went on some weird tangents today, but you know what?
The movie was good. I liked it.
The movie was good. Watch it. It is
Definitely
absolutely watch it.
Yes. This gets a definite watch and try it out. And if you don't like it, you don't have a sense of humor. Because it's not even necessarily my type of humor, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Don't watch The Island.
No.
Unless you want to watch the Ian McGregor, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or as Disney likes to call her, who? She is she is persona non grata. She's gone, man. They cut their ties with her. Officially. I mean, they actually served her, went on and did a little news conference at the thing that she is no longer associated with Disney or anything to do with Disney.
Here's the thing. Very few people can throw their weight around like that, especially with Disney.
Right.
I think the only person who could have gotten away, actually, in the last decade, I think Robert Downey Jr. is the only one that could have gotten away with it.
I don't know if he even could have.
I don't know. He might.
Too easy to recast nowadays.
But I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that could have gotten away with it.
From Disney? I don't know.
You know who could have, but didn't realize they could have in time.
Daisy Ridley,
and I don't think her and the trifecta